Today is a connect with all meditation. We've done quite a few different themes in the past, all a little unique, but the one we did last week was loving kindness meditation, and this one flows into that just a little bit. So when you're ready, let's head on back to our spot. You'll notice I had a cozy, this is like a big scarf, but most importantly, when you get to wherever you're planning on practicing meditation, we want to make sure that things aren't going to distract us. So if you're cold or your feet get cold, put some socks on, grab a blanket, snuggle up against a wall or lie down, whatever feels really good for you. I'm going to meet you on my cushion is the same every week. I use a good old comfy couch cushion with a blanket on top. Today I'm just adding in a little extra because it's so warm outside. And then when you come in, my basement is really cold. So make sure that you're also feeling really cozy. And then once you've arrived, no matter whether you're lying or seated against a wall or seated in the middle of a room, we're going to try to get our spines really erect. So you might think of your ribs like a ladder and you kind of climb up one side, climb up the other, climb a little higher, and then keep that length, but drop your shoulders. Chin parallel to the floor, and let's make sure we don't have that tech neck jut forward. We're going to pull our head back. So we feel really long and loose in the backs of our necks. Once we've arrived there, notice your pelvic bowl. Let's try to tilt our tailbone down a little bit, pulling our navels in. Feel how that lengthens out the bottom of your spine. And then settle comfortably, drawing your sits bones together. Give a little squeeze there, and then settle in. I like to give a little squeeze and a little tuck in the beginning because once we engage and then we release, we can relax a bit more deeply. We have arrived. The hardest part is over. All you have to do now as you're getting settled is once you find comfort, then let's find a soft gaze. If you're feeling very comfy in your surroundings, you're welcome just to completely close your eyes. Really nice to tune out external stimulation, computer screens, phones, lights, all those things that are very overstimulating. If that's not quite comfy, that's okay. My preference is to look down. We attempt to look down the tips of our noses, and we soften our eyes into little slits so that everything becomes a little blurry and unfocused. Once we've arrived, let's begin cultivating our breath awareness. It can be really difficult to find your breath, so you're welcome to use your hands and try to find it. Breathe up and under your hands. They can be around heart or throat. I like to do one around heart or throat and one on belly, or you can place them both on your belly. Not only helping us to find breath, but just also very nurturing, very nourishing to hold yourself, feel held, feel supported. And then as you're noticing your breath dropping into the beginning of your meditation, attempt to breathe in as big as you can and fill a little balloon under your hands. Easy exhale. Breathing in, noticing our rise, our expansion. Breathing out and noticing the release, the contraction, dissolving down into our supports. Try to breathe 360 degrees. So you may also choose to put your hands on your ribs. We want to go east and west as much as we're going north and south, and all directions in between. I love to bring to mind an image of a jellyfish and how they move and breathe. That's how I want your breath to be, really open and expansive, and then fluttering down into softness as you exhale. Finding comfort, taking solace in our breath, yet staying alert and awake for our practice. Today, let's begin broadening and opening our field of awareness. Our meditation has a theme of connecting with all. Let's begin to saturate our body with our breath. You can drop your hands. If you're searching for grounding through your meditation, palms would be down, wherever they land, wherever you feel comfy. If we're feeling a bit tired and sluggish, we can turn our palms up, thinking about receiving, just bringing in a whole bunch of new energy and really good vibes from our breath and our meditation practice. Thinking about that jellyfish again and the sea, how it's saturated with salt. That's how I want you to try to breathe. Saturate your body with this beautiful breath. Let's unclench our jaws. Maybe we even wiggle through as much of our face as we can. Wiggle your nose, wiggle through your bottom jaw, maybe flutter your lips. Turn your head side to side. We never have to settle into stillness right away. A little movements may help us get extra cozy. And if during our practice you get very uncomfortable and it's distracting you, switch your posture. Don't worry about staying still, not necessary. If while we're practicing your thoughts, your planning mind begins to take over your practice, simply settle back into your breath. Become aware of it again. Reconnect hands to something to physically feel it. Noticing breath on the inside of our bodies. Feeling the filling sensation. Notice the surface of your body rising and falling. Feeling fluidity with our breath. And with that really strong breath connection, we notice receptivity, a very calm awareness. As we settle into the bowl of our hips and find the length of our spine, try to notice how you're feeling, whether it's your mood or your personality today. Is it happy or sad? Busy or calm? Are you feeling safe or frightened? Bright or dim? Sleepy or awake? No matter what we're noticing, we are engaged in our body's energy, in our mood, in our mind, in our emotions. Let anything that arises come. Taking comfort in arriving in the present moment. Noticing the ebb and flow of sensations, feelings, and emotions. Let's feel the brightness of our energy as we focus on our breath and cultivate a really strong connection and a breath practice. Hopefully, we're noticing that as we focus on our breath, especially when we take these really big, invigorating breaths and then soften slowly out of the breath, we feel a bit more alert and awake. Lifting a bit more through our sternum, deepening our breath, feeling a real lightness and a brightness in this newfound energy. I'd like to congratulate you on pointing your attention in a useful direction, a breath-focused direction, becoming aware, calm, and settled. Physically try to settle in your shoulders. And again, sometimes if we give them a little shimmy, a little shake up and down, it might be easier to settle into them. As we're lifting in our sternum, lengthening in our spines, our heart space is shining forward, allowing all those beautiful emotions and sensations to come and go. And let's begin to notice the parts of our breath, the beginning of that in-breath, the full length of it, and my favorite part, that tiny little pause in between the in and the out breath. full length of the out breath and the very ending of it. Notice that tiny pause again before you re-inspire with new in-breath. I love taking note of that tiny little pause. Try again, breathing in, noticing all parts of the breath, and maybe noticing our body in quadrants as well. Flowing from the throat, the upper chest, down through your ribs, and then all the way down into your belly as low as your pelvic bowl, feeling really big and wide. And then reverse, softening slowly as we release from lower belly, mid belly, all the way up into the lungs and top of chest. Attention bright and present as we focus on our breath. Becoming still with an attitude of tender, loving kindness. Much easier to cultivate those feelings within ourselves when we slow down and take time to notice our breath. And hopefully we can notice the changing signs of lightness in our bodies. It might be lighter up top, unclenching through our heart and our chests. But then it may also feel heavier in other parts, heavier through the back of your body, softening and settling. Let's continue with that breath focus as we begin our Connect with All meditation. Call to mind someone whom you feel naturally friendly towards. I like to visually call them to mind, but you can also call them to mind in your heart. Maybe you just feel them. Maybe you sense them. Maybe you smell them. Something that really brings that person close into your atmosphere. It doesn't have to be a person, it can also be a pet. So once we've brought up that image or a feeling of someone that we feel really naturally friendly and loving towards, let's reflect on all that we share with this person or pet. We are all breathing. And although you and the person you've called to mind may look differently, you may act differently, the details of your lives are certainly different. Focus on the fact that we are both breathing. Stay grounded in your own awareness as we expand our awareness to include our friend. I love visuals, so I always visualize that part with grounded in our own awareness. See yourself with like a little aura, a little bubble around yourself, this beautiful breath-filled, energy-filled bubble, and then it expands just a little bit for your significant other to slip into. Quietly breathing with this person with whom you admire and love, gently reflecting on all that you share. Although we have these superficial differences, remembering that we are so alike. We will both have pleasant experiences and encounter unpleasant situations. We are both loving and we long to be loved. Imaginatively dissolve any sense of separation between you and this significant other. Saturate your own breath with kindness and tenderness towards yourself. Feel warmth and connection to whatever is arising, whatever is happening to you and within you. A bright, open awareness, allowing thoughts and emotions to come and go. bringing in a sense of common humanity so that we can send these same thoughts to our friend or significant other. Compassion, contentment, fulfillment. As you bring them into your field of awareness, imagine both of you being bathed in these qualities: compassion, contentment, and fulfillment. It may help with every breath to feel those qualities washing over you. Every out breath, send them to your significant other. Allow yourselves to really marinate in these beautiful sensations, any emotions that they conjure up when we feel a sense of compassion, contentment, and fulfillment. Then let's try to broaden our awareness even further. Can you expand and radiate out to include others, both nearby and far, those that you haven't even met yet? Bring them to life in your imagination. Let's again see how alike all of these people or animals are in our humanity, just like we are. These individuals also have hopes, dreams, fears, and regrets. Let's try to feel a sense of commonality with all others. Can we use our own self-awareness as a touchstone for empathy towards humanity? Especially important in times like we're experiencing right now, instead of feeling isolated at any given time, are you able to empathize with humans as you realize how alike we all are deep down? So we can conjure up this beautiful image of bubbling everyone into our awareness, focusing on our commonalities instead of our differences, remembering that we all have hopes and dreams and we all have fears and regrets. Breathing in and breathing out, including everyone with our breaths filled with compassion, kindness, and empathy. And as we brought all of that into our focus, let's recheck in with our bodies and faces. If there was anywhere that we clenched or tightened with all of that thought, let's just let go, simply refocusing on our breaths, loosening in our jaws, allowing corners of eyes to just melt down, softening between your brows and across your forehead, simply breathing. Allowing cheeks to get heavier, your lips may part, your tongue rests heavy on the back of your bottom teeth. And once you've softened back in, remembering that we're breathing interest and commonality connection with all humanity. Maybe even well-wishing to all. I know this can be extra challenging in times of turmoil, on some days when you're just feeling funky. Just try. Imagine sending a big, beautiful, well-wishing breath of kindness and compassion to all. And then as we envision this big, broad, open field of awareness, including all living creatures, let's flow equally without any preference or bias to those we may like or those we know we don't like. People who we know and those we have yet to meet. People who are awake and those who are asleep. We can think about that both ways. Literally awake or asleep, or regarding their opinions, their thoughts and their beliefs. Those are who are awake and those who are asleep, or including all. People who are nearby and people who are far away. Breathing in this sense of common humanity, a broad sense of commonality and compassion, including those who are living in peaceful conditions and those who are living in turmoil. We are all living creatures. We are all human beings. We are all so similar. Reconnecting with our breath as we breathe in, holding close to our heart this sense of commonality, this touchstone, our empathy towards everyone. Refocusing on this type of a meditation whenever we're feeling sad, lonely, or isolated, bringing all of these creatures into our awareness. Knowing that in our similarities, none of us want to suffer. Truly deep down, we all want to be happy. And in the most basic sense, we are all breathing. Breathing in and out every moment of our lives. That's the easiest one to connect with. We are all so alike with our breath. Resting back with this broad and open field of awareness. Trying to keep everyone encompassed in this beautiful, open, kind bubble or field of awareness, whatever you're visualizing. I also like to think about it as a great big bear hug. Just bring everyone in. Feel the togetherness, the compassion towards all. Sometimes towards the end of our practice, we've gotten really relaxed, focusing on breaths, which is wonderful. Using these meditations, though, to become alert, focused, and re-energized for our day, let's remember to re-engage through a beautifully confident posture and erect spine. Back of head pressing back just slightly for a really long wrinkle-free back of neck, and then chin slightly tucking so it's parallel to the floor. While focusing on this posture and our breath practice, we can remain centered and grounded in our own experience while being able to expand and include all creatures. Let's take solace and rest inside these moments and sensations within our own bodies. Noticing an ebb and flow, an expanding and a subsiding, not just with your breath, but with things that arise. And then let's recheck in. Check in with your mood. Check in with how your attention is feeling, whether it be busy or calm. Maybe still feeling sad or happy, safe or frightened, sleepy or awake, bright or dim. There's never a right answer, and there's nothing wrong with anything that bubbles up inside of us. It's a really good sign when things arise that we have opened our hearts, our minds, opened our breath to allow them the space to visit, to stay, maybe to pass through. Re-noticing the brightness of our energy. Repointing and refocusing our attention in a useful direction, a breath-centered direction. I love the saying, lead from the left side, which means open your heart, lift your sternum, let your heart shine through, and lead with a breath and heart-centered focus today. Before we close our practice together, if you're able to visualize, take a mental snapshot. Use your third eye, see yourself. Capture that in your memory so that you can come back to it at any time through the rest of today or this week when you're feeling a little frazzled or maybe a little tired, confused, anything that's got you stuck or down. Reconnect with your breath, your own field of awareness. Broaden it, notice a sense of commonality and compassion to humanity so you know you're never alone. Most importantly, as we breathe, keep coming back to your body sensations all throughout the day. Increasing our body awareness, increasing our mindfulness, and allowing our breath to dictate our actions, our words, breathing, feeling, and then responding. Let's take 3 breaths in together to finish this practice. Really nice if you've been breathing quietly to really push out a big sigh at the end. Breathing in through your nose. Attention bright and present. Exhale audibly. Twice more like that. Breathing in. Noticing that change, this finding the lightness. Energy up and then sigh to release anything that's not serving us. Breathing in, broadening our awareness. Exhaling gently and letting go. My friends, congratulations on another beautiful effort and a practice in your meditation. The time seems to fly right by once we begin. I'd like to thank you for joining me today, and I can't wait to see you again next week. Namaste.